And you might say, why did she cut that little bird off? Well, I just didn't think that it would be appropriate for my dining room. So it was a simple matter to just surgically remove the little bird, and I have him here for safekeeping, and I can use him when I do some Halloween cards. I wanted to go ahead and heat set this. You'll see how the paper warped just a little bit. That warping is going to go away when I attach it to my card. So I'm going to go ahead and get out my adhesive. And this is dot adhesive, which I absolutely love, because if you get a little in a place where you don't want it, you can just kind of rub it away and it goes away. So let's attach this at the top, and making sure that my top and fold edges are even. There we go. And once that's put in place, any warping will tend to disappear. I'm going to decorate that last thing when we finish the card. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I've got a piece for the bottom of the card, and I want to do my stamping of the chairs. So I'm going to remove the chandelier stamp from my block, and we're going to be using this particular chair, which is oriented toward a particular direction, because I want to show you reverse stamping. And this is a really good set to use, really good stamp to use from that set for this example. Okay, this time I'm going to be using pigment ink, but I'm not going to heat emboss. It's just necessary for the technique that you use a pigment ink. So I've inked that up with the pigment ink. It's a little bit messy. And I'm going to stamp, instead of on my paper, I'm going to stamp on this, what we used to call shadow stamps. And there's different ways to do it, but I find this old flat rubber stamp is the best medium for transferring that image. I'm going to align it where I'll know where it is, because I won't be able to see it when I stamp it. So I'm just going to stamp fairly firm pressure onto the stamp, and there's my chair. And I know when I flip it over, it's in this portion of the stamp. So I know I want a rug. I'm going to set this down next to the card that I'm working on. And I know that it's going to be facing toward my left. And I know I also want a little bit of a rug. So I'm going to place it, making sure I get the entire chair here, like so. It's a little bit of blind stamping. Press down, fairly firm pressure, lift it up, and there is chair one. The other chair, now this is pigment ink, so it's good for another stamping. I can see where I'm going to stamp this one, so I'm going to fit it next to and a little bit away, and fairly firm pressure, and there is my second chair in my scene. So now this is going to eventually be placed here as I finish out my card, and you can see that I have the chairs now facing each other, having stamped a reverse image. I'm going to take some time out to color these. I'm going to use a Copic R27 and E37. Be back in a minute.